today we're talking about Nike SB Dunks and whether or not they're a good skate shoe. Also, if you're new to my channel, I'm the Skateboard Dad, make sure to hit subscribe and like this video because it just helps with videos or whatever. What I have here is a pair of Nike SB Dunks from I believe 2008 or 2007, and they are the Aqua Fuel colorway. The Nike SB Mid Dunk, as you can see, it's not as high as a high and it's not as low as a low. And one thing that's been a point of contention between skaters and sneakerheads alike has been the strap. So the Nike SB Dunk Mid has had a lot of great colorways, including like the Mama Bears. They're part of like the 3 Bears pack. Then there were the Vapor Mids, I believe in 2007. And that was my first pair of Dunks and one of my favorite pairs of shoes to this day. But a lot of Dunk Mid colorways have just been awful. But that's not an exclusive thing to just Dunk Mids, because every Dunk has had a terrible colorway or two. So why is it that the Dunk Mid is not as popular today among skateboarders or sneakerheads? The thing is they were never very popular. I remember when I got my first pair of Dunks, they were a pair of mids, and I got them, and a fellow like sneakerhead skater friend of mine who was really into Dunks sort of got me into Dunks. He was like, yeah, they're cool and all, but like, I don't know what to do with the strap. And the thing with the strap is, like, if you wore them like this, they kind of look like a little like combat booty. Like the person wearing them looks like a little uptight. But then the alternative is undoing the strap. And then you're left with this kind of like goofy boy-esque, like Air Force One Nelly. Like this is, what is this? No one wants that. No one, stop. This doesn't have very much mainstream appeal. So what people ended up doing when they had a pair of mids that they wanted to skate, they would take their mid dunk, they would take a pair of scissors and just cut it off. That's not a cutting motion, but they would just cut the strap off. And what that left was this sort of unfinished look and just this kind of mess where this eye stay would be. And so people just stopped skating mid dunks, I'm pretty sure. They were really popular from this skateboarder, rest in peace, Louis Marnell. So Louis was part of the original Nike SB team from Australia, and they came out with a dunk in the same colorway that he used to always skate, but it's like a tribute to him. He's one of the only pros that I've known to really be down with mid dunks. Other than that, like try to think of a pair of mids that's memorable to you besides the Mama Bears. Like these, not a memorable shoe. If this were a low colorway, I feel like people would probably like it. The color blocking's a little weird, but people would like this as a low or as a high. I think the reason that this isn't a memorable colorway is because of the strap. Another thing I just want to talk about is how do Dunks in general skate? That's probably why you're watching this video. So if you've never skated a pair of Dunks or never skated a pair of Nike SBs in general, Nike SB, when they came onto the scene in like 1997, or maybe a little bit before then, they like signed Bam Margera to their team, and Bam Margera said he hated the shoes so much that he would wear other companies' shoes and then like tape a Nike swoosh to them because he couldn't wear the shoes that Nike made. So Nike canned their entire skateboarding program and relaunched as Nike SB in I believe 2000 or 2001. And with their relaunch, they really started making shoes that performed really well for skateboarders, and people really took to them. Nike also made the Blazers, they made Bruins, they've made a handful of like terrible shoes like the Harbors. But Nike SB has always made very well performing skate shoes. So the Dunks are great. I've skated a bunch of pairs of Dunks, and what I love about Dunks is this shoe was made for basketball, but somehow just lends itself to skateboarding so well. Like you have this eye stay, like this mudguard eye stay up here. It's like perfect right in the ollie area. This stitching right here can get a little bit blown out like right away because that's more so the ollie area for some people. The thing that is sort of a bummer is like the double stitching. If that was triple stitching or reinforced somehow, I feel like it would last so much longer, but it would sort of ruin the vibe of the whole dunk. So the Dunks perform especially well for skateboarding, and at the end of the video, I'll get into which dunk I think skates the best, whether it's the high, the mid, or the low, and it might not be what you think, so make sure to stick around to the end of the video. Nike SB isn't making a lot of mid-top dunks. They'll pull one out every once in a while for like the ISO orange label releases. They did this shoe, but it's kind of a sleeper model right now. But Dunks are typically durable. They have decent impact protection with the cup sole. The insole has that little zoom airbag unit inside of it, which is fine. The padding around the shoe is good, and the padding on the inside is even better with newer releases. Even though I think Dunks pre-2011 fit better and look better, Dunks post-2011 and on were retooled and probably perform better and are probably more comfortable. So which dunk skates the best? Highs, mids, or lows? So I've known people that say that they only skate Nike SB Dunk highs, and the reasoning is typically something like they feel like a higher top shoe has better ankle support. And that may be true in some cases, but if you're going down a stair set and your foot lands like this, like off your board, and your weight is moving downward onto it, there's really nothing that a shoe can do to stop you from spraining your ankle. But a higher top shoe is really only going to make the sprain a little bit higher in your ankle. So higher top shoes can really lead to just higher ankle sprains, and in some cases more severe ankle sprains. And I've found that high top shoes like really don't add that much stability. So it's not like a Dunk High acts as an ankle brace where it's gonna immobilize your ankle. Another downside of the Nike SB Dunk High is that you lose a little bit of ankle mobility and the natural range of motion of your ankle unless you have them untied quite a bit. So I love Dunk Highs. I think they're really cool. I don't really wear them anymore, but they're good skate shoes and a lot of people wear them, but I don't think they're the best out of all of the Dunks that you can skate. So moving on to the Dunk mids. So people skate mid-top Dunks for the same reason that they skate the high-top Dunks. They believe that a little bit higher of a shoe will add some ankle stability, which is probably true in some cases, but I'm not sure to what extent that is true. But the thing with Dunk mids is they add a little bit of ankle stability, whereas the Dunk High, it goes a little bit higher up on your ankle, up your shin, so you lose a little bit of that range of motion. The ankle collar, it takes some getting used to, especially on like heel flip tricks and things where you're using this side of the shoe predominantly. Another downside to some people would be the strap, but I think the use of the strap, if you actually get a strap mid dunk, because they do make some strapless mids, like in the blue box era, I believe around like 2010, 2011. Something that's so important that I think a lot of people miss with shoes in general is the instep of your foot. You want to make sure with a shoe that you're wearing that your foot can act naturally inside the shoe. And so if you get a shoe that's a little bit too big for you, if you tie down the laces, it's going to constrict your instep of your foot, which is the top part of your foot where these laces sort of lie. What's so cool about a Dunk mid is if the shoe over time loses its fit and loosens up a little bit too much for your liking, rather than ratcheting down the laces and just constricting the instep of your foot, you have the ability to take your strap, tighten it up around the ankle of your foot, which again loses a little bit of range of motion for your ankle, but pick your poison kind of thing. And if you don't like the strap and they're gonna get ruined anyway, you can always just cut the strap off, or you can leave them hanging out like Nelly in the 2000s. Maybe it doesn't look too bad. Let me know what you think about the straps on the mids in the comments below. Also subscribe. It's just nice. It's just a nice thing to do. One last thing I'll say about mids is like, it's sort of just one of those things that you can't really put to words. It's just like the mids, it's the same thing with like Jordan 1 mids. Like, yeah, they're cool looking, but they're not as cool as highs, and they're not as unique as lows. Now, the only shoe that's left is the Dunk Low, which I believe is the best skate shoe of the three, high, mid, and low. It's sort of obvious because you'll see all the pros that are on Nike SB, like Eric Costin, Ashad Ware, Yuto Horigome, Deshaun Jordan, everyone. They're all wearing Dunk Lows. It's just because it's a perfect skate shoe. It's got all the pros of the Dunk High and the Dunk Mid, but it's got more ankle mobility, which is very important to a lot of people. And I just think it looks the best. Like, it's way easier to style a pair of Dunk Lows than it is a high, and certainly easier than a Dunk Mid, because what do you do with that? What do you do? So Nike SB Dunks, great skate shoe, great shoe. Pretty much no one can afford them these days, so unless you're getting a plug from a shop or from Nike SB, well, maybe watch my other video on should you skate Nike SB Dunks, or what my opinion is on skating Nike SB Dunks, because I think it's a little silly. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm the Skateboard Dad. Again, subscribe, like, whatever. Just thanks for watching, for real.